So hi guys, um, we're going to be doing tutorial question for chapter 4 and 5, demand and supply. So question 1, they're saying explain with an aid of a diagram what will happen if the government fixes minimum price for maize meal above equilibrium price. I highlighted minimum price here because we know that minimum price, you probably think it's okay, fine. Because it's the minimum price, obviously it has to minimum price, obviously it has to be, I'm just gonna draw here, um below the market equilibrium price. Right. You might think that because it's minimum, so it has to be below, but that is not the case. Minimum price is above the market equilibrium price. You understand? So they said here, what will happen if the government fixes a minimum price for maize meal above? Yes. So it's going to be effective because valid the minimum price must be above the equilibrium price. So they're asking what will be the effect? What will happen? So this is our minimum price as the government has set. And then draw this line, draw this. I'm just going to explain. I'm not going to give like I don't know. I'm just going to explain. You guys, you will know how to explain this in order to get this 10 marks. Maybe like if in a test or what. But me, I'm just going to explain for now so that you understand. So a minimum price is set above the equilibrium price to be effective. If it is below, then it would not be effective, right? So here, when the government sets this minimum price above the equilibrium price for maize meal, what will happen is, okay, let me just indicate my demand and supply curve. This is my demand curve and this is my supply curve, right? And this is my equilibrium price. Let me just say this was like I'm just gonna say this maybe was 4 rand and the quantity was 10. Yeah, I'm not gonna put the quantity for these other one. I'm just gonna put the price for this one for the minimum price. Just gonna say it's 10 rand. So guys, what will happen here and again in this market if the government decides to fix a minimum price? Minimum price is it's set above the equilibrium price, which is 4 rand. So what would happen firstly is that the price is going to increase obviously from 4 rand to 10 rand. So what this basically means is that this producer or any this business can for this item that they sell here, they can charge for maize meal, they can charge 10 rand and above. They cannot charge at a price which is below this price. You understand? They can charge 10 rand and above for this price. So sorry for this item for maize meal. So what's going to happen here is that now if they increase the prices for maize meal, the quantity demanded is going to decrease. Can you see, guys? From here, the quantity which was demanded was 10. Now it's going to move this way to this, to here. To here, it's going to be this amount now, which you're going to be demanded. So it has decreased. And then the quantity supplied also is going to what? It's going to increase from 10 to this price, to this quantity, which is here. We know that suppliers are always chasing higher prices. So if the prices are high, just know that the suppliers are going to supply more of that item because they are always chasing for higher prices. Suppliers are always trying to maximize their profit, right? So higher prices, suppliers are there. So the quantity which is supplied is going to increase from 10 rand to this quantity that is here, which will result in what again? Which will result in excess supply because this is the supply and this is what is demanded. So demand is less than supply. So you also would have to put the numbers here and also just calculate your excess. So let me just write maybe like 2 here, and then let me just write 20 here. So indicates that, okay, so now the suppliers are supplying two units of maize meal, two quantities, and then sorry, the the people who are demanding maize meal, they demand two quantities, but the suppliers, they're willing to supply 20. So there's going to be excess supply. So there's going to be excess supply of how much? So you just say 20 minus 2, then you get your difference. So that would be the excess. Yeah, I think that is all in regards to this Maismal thingy. So for number one, you're supposed to draw something like this, and then you explain which this is your um, excess supply. The excess is how much, and then also indicates that the price will increase from 4 rand to 7 rand, and that the quantity which is demanded will decrease, and then the quantity which is supplied will increase. Why? Because producers are always chasing higher prices. So if the prices are high, they'll definitely produce more items. And also, yeah, just that. And then number two, question two, they say the government concludes that alcohol abuse is a cause of many road deaths and family problems. To combat the abuse of alcohol, the government decided to implement a minimum. No, we did this, exactly this. We did it in the previous when we are doing chapter 5. When we are doing chapter 5, we did this question. It was the last question that we did. So if you didn't watch my last video of chapter 5, you can just go back then. Just scroll towards the end. We did this video. Sorry, we did this section, this question. You will see the answers there. I just want to move on. They say imagine that the demand for wheat can be represented as quantity demanded equals to 20,000 minus 5p, and that the supply can be represented as quantity supplied equals to minus 400,000 plus 3p, where p represents the price of wheat per ton, while quantity demanded and quantity supply represents quantity demanded and quantity supplied. So basically here, they've given us the equation for quantity demand, which is 20,000 minus 5p. Quantity demanded, this negative here, it indicates that this equation is for demand. So even if this was not written, even if quantity demanded was not written, it was just like this. The negative sign here should it indicates that this is the equation for demand. Why? Because of the law of demand, and that there's an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded, and also the demand curve is negatively sloping. So this negative sign is just, it basically shows what this equation is for the demand curve. And then this positive sign here for quantity supplied, it also shows what this equation is for the supply curve. Why? Because of the law of supply. Um, the the price has a direct or positive relationship with the quantity which is supplied, and that is seen by the positive slope of the supply curve. So that is why here we have a positive. Okay, to get that. So now they want us to calculate the equilibrium price and quantity of wheat. So what you do here, you basically equate these equations. So let me try to get my whiteboard so I can try to equate them. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this thing. So every time I try to use the whiteboard, it becomes a problem. Do you want opening a whiteboard will stop the screen share? Do you want to? I don't want to stop the screen share though. New whiteboard. Let me just click continue and see what happens. Oh, Mm. Mm. So you're going to have to equate these two equations, which is quantity demanded is equal to 20 and 3 minus 5p, right? And then also you have your this is going to take time, but then like let me just do it. Then you also have your quantity supplied, which is equal to negative 400, 4,000 plus 3p. And they want us to calculate to find the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity. So we do know this thing that you have, okay, let me just put she. Oh, I'll be sharing with my contact here. Okay, so this is my thingy. This is my supply. This is my demand. Oh, then this is my price. So you do know that here in equilibrium, you have your supply this side, then you have your demand this side, right? Your quantity supplied and demanded is the same. It's here. It's the same, right? And your price is also the same. So at equilibrium, your quantity demanded and supply is the same and the price is also equal. So you can just equate these equations um by saying quantity demanded will be equal to your quantity supplied, right? And then equate the two. And then you equate the two, you say 20,000 minus 5p is equal to negative 4,000, negative 4,000 plus 3p. And then you have to solve for p. So you will say 20,000, sorry, 20,000, because p is a negative here. If you transpose it to this side, it's going to be positive. So plus 4,000 equals to 3p. And then your minus 5 here is negative, it's minus 5. If you transpose it to that side, it's going to be positive. So plus 5p. 20,000 plus 4,000, it's going to be 24,000, 24,000 equals to 3p plus 5, 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be 8p. Then you just divide by 8p on both sides. So you say 8p divided by 8p so that you can get your p. So it becomes p because 8p divided by 8, 8 cancels 8, you're left with. Okay, so what you do here is, let me just write it down. You're going to say 24, 1, 2, 3, divided by 8, right? Equals to 8p divided by 8. So 8 is going to cancel this 8. So this 8 will cancel this 8. Because 8 divided by 8, that is 1. Then you left with p. So you'll be left with p over 1, which is the same as p. And then this side, it's 24,000 divided by 8, which will give you 3,000. So your final answer will be p equals to 3,000. So that's will be your final answer. So you have your p. Now to see if this answer is correct, you'd have to substitute your p here. So you're going to say 20,000 minus 5 into p. Then you would get 5,000. Also, negative 4,000 plus 3 into p, you would get what? You get you 3,000. So that will mean that your price is correct. because your quantity supplied has to be equal to your quantity demanded. Then now you can just draw your, because the required says that you should draw also the diagram. So now you can just draw your thing here. This is your demand, and then this is the equilibrium price, and this is the equilibrium quantity. So you just then you then write here, Guti. Um, then you just write here, Guti, this is your price of 3,000. And then this over here is your quantity of 5,000. So you are done. Yeah, this is what you had to do for that question. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. I wanna go back to the thingy, to the meeting. I have to share my screen again. So, we're done with this question. And then 3.2, they say presents the supply and the demand curve graphically and clearly indicates the position of equilibrium. We did that as well, where we said it was okay, the price is now 3,000 and the quantity, which is demand and supplied, is 5,000. Number 3, imagine the farmer lobbied the government for a floor price for wheat, that the government imposes a floor price of 2,000 per ton. Will such a floor price result in a surplus or a shortage on the market? How large will the surplus or shortage be? So let's say we have our thingy here, our 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 diagram, the one that I drew there on the whiteboard. I just want to write it here. So let's say this is it. Then I'm just going to put a 3 here for 3,000, which is our price. Then I'm just going to put a 5 here for 5,000, which is our quantity, right? So now they're saying that imagine that the farmer lobby the government for a price floor, and then the government imposes a price floor. So guys, a floor price or a price floor is usually set above the equilibrium price, right? So now they're saying that the price is at 2,000. Already, this is telling us that this floor price is set below the equilibrium price, which is going to which will mean that this price flow will be ineffective because it's above. The price flow the price flow has to be above. If it's 2,000, it is below. So this would be ineffective. But then I'll just continue with the question to see what the question wants. So they're saying, will such a floor price result in a surplus or a shortage? It will not result in anything because it is ineffective. How large will the surplus or shortage be? There's no surplus, there's no shortage, guys, because the price flow I just mentioned with the price flow is set above the equilibrium price. So now if we set it below at 2,000, because now remember the price is 3,000. So if they're saying that the price flow should be 2,000, it basically means if they want it to be here, somewhere here. Let me just use a different color. I'm just gonna use this one, I love pink. So they want it to be here, somewhere here, that's 2,000. And then this would be ineffective because why? Because I mean this is saying that we can charge at any price from 2 Rand and above, because this is a price flow, usually above here. They're saying you must charge a price from 2 Rand and above. Already, Tina, we're charging a price which is above this price to 2,000. We're charging this for this wheat, we we charge 3,000. So it's already above 2,000. So it would be ineffective to say we must charge at a price which is above 2,000 when already we are charging at 3,000 and 3,000 is above 2,000. But also in J, because a price flow has to be here should be here to be effective. If it's just here, it is ineffective. And remember, I said, Uti, a price flow, flow, you probably think it's because it's flow, then it's supposed to be below the equilibrium price, but that is not the case. The price flow is above. It's the same as the price ceiling. The price ceiling is below. You understand? The minimum price, it's above. The maximum, it's below. It's just the opposite of what you might think is the answer. So the question continues. They say now, imagine that the flow price is set at 4,000. Okay, so now I just want to draw the exact same thing. So you have your demand, so your supply, you have your demand, then you have your price and your quantity. So this is demand and this is supply. So remember here, our price here is 3. I'm just gonna write it up here. And then here our quantity is 5. We're continuing with the same, because it's still the same question. So we're using the figures that we got from here. So they're saying now that the price flow is set at 4,000. Remember, the price flow is set above the equilibrium price, right? So the price flow, it should be above. So it should be somewhere here. You understand? And then now they're saying that there is a price flow, and this price flow, it is at 4,000. So here they're not telling us if it's above or it's below. We just have to be able to understand what they're trying to say. So because they're saying that now the price is 4,000, this tells us Guti, it is above the equilibrium price, because the equilibrium price of which we got here was 3,000. And now the price flow is what is 4,000. I'm just going to write 4 here. And now it is what? It is 4,000. So this basically means it is above. And the price flow, obviously, it is set above the equilibrium price. So this renders it to be what? To be effective. So then what would happen today? What would happen? So they say, is there going to be a surplus or a shortage in the market? So this is number 3.4. So this and this would be our new so the quantity supplied is going to be here and the quantity demand is going to be here. So to get the quantity supply and demand, what you do, you just substitute in this formula and also in this formula. Because already you have your price. You're told what your price is 4,000. So you just put 4,000 here in this P, and you also put 4,000 here in this P. And then you put this in your calculator. Your quantity demand, if your quantity demanded, you will get 0. So just say this is 0. And then for your quantity supplied, if you put here 4,000, you would get 800. So just put 8,000, so just put 8 here. And then now you then have to say it's okay, because the quantity demanded has decreased from 5 to 0, and the quantity supplied has increased from 5 to 8. Obviously, consumers are always chasing higher prices. Now, because the price has increased, the quantity supplied increased as well from 5 to 8, which led to what? To an excess supply. Is it an excess supply now of 800, because people they demanding 0 of this product, but the supply is 8,000. So what you do is say 8,000 minus 0 to get the surplus, and the surplus is 8,000. So we're done with this question. Move on to the next one. They're saying using the diagram in B, illustrate the impact of a flow price set at 400,000 per ton. So at a flow price set at 4, okay, let me just write this again. So this is my supply, this is my demand, and then this is the price, and this is the quantity. So here our price is 3, which is continuing with these numbers, and my quantity is 5, which is continuing with the information we got from here. So they're saying now using the diagram in B, illustrate the impact of a flow price. So we know that a price flow is set above the equilibrium price. So yes, if it is set at 4,000, it's just what we did here in number 4. So now we're going to put the price flow here, then you're going to have 4,000. Then the effect is the same. The price is going to increase, so the quantity which is demanded will decrease. And then we said here it was 0 because we substituted 4,000 in this P to get the quantity demanded, and also 4,000 here to get the quantity supplied. And the quantity demanded, we got 0. The quantity supplied, we got 8,000. Then we calculated the surplus and we said it was 8,000. So I feel like this is the same. They're asking the same thing here in 3.5. So let's do 3.6. It says, imagine that the farmers are unsuccessful in getting a floor price imposed, but that Consumers Protection Group is successful in lobbying for a price ceiling. So the Consumer Protection Group was successful in getting a price ceiling. Price ceiling, you might think, oh, it's okay, this one is probably above the equilibrium price. Well, that is not the case. The price ceiling is below the equilibrium price. It's the same as the maximum price, the price ceiling. So they say if the price ceiling is set at 4,000, what will happen? Okay, so I'm just gonna draw the same. So we're still using the same price and quantity that we got from the previous question. So our quantity was 5,000, and I'm just gonna write 5. And then the price was 3,000. I'm just gonna write 3. So they're saying here, if the price ceiling is set at 4,000 per ton, what would the impact be on the market for wheat? Calculate the surplus or the shortage. So the price ceiling is set below the price ceiling is here. The price ceiling is set below the equilibrium price. So here now they're saying if the price ceiling is set at 4,000, so now they want it to be here, then it would be ineffective, this one, because we know the price ceiling is supposed to be below the equilibrium price. So now if it is above, then it would be ineffective. Why? Because but this is saying the price ceiling is saying that the business can charge any price from here, here, but they must not sell at a price above this one, above the price ceiling. They cannot sell above it. So now if we put it here, if we put the price ceiling here and the price, okay, let me just remove this and this as well. So what I'm saying is that if we put the price ceiling here, so what we're saying is that the business can charge at any price 1 rand, 2 rand, 3 rand, 4 rand until 4 rand, but they cannot charge above 4 rand. And already the business is charging here at 3 rand. So they can charge here or at 4 rand. There will not be an effect on this market if the price ceiling is set above the equilibrium price. But if it was below where it's supposed to be, there was going to be an effect, because now this is saying that the businesses can charge, let me say, maybe this is 2 rand. So this is saying that this business can charge 1 rand, 1 rand 50, 1 rand 60 cent, but they cannot charge above 2 rand. And already they are charging 3 rand, which means that they would be forced to reduce their prices to 2 rand or below 2 rand. So now it would be effective if it is above the equilibrium price. You guys get that? So now number 3.6, we just say this will be ineffective because of what I've just explained. And then 3.7 is saying if the price ceiling is set at 2,000 per ton. So this is my supply, this is my demand, this is the equilibrium price here. This is the equilibrium quantity, right? So they're saying that if the price ceiling is set at 2,000 per ton, what would be the impact on the market of wheat? Calculate the surplus or the shortage. So if the so obviously we know that here we're using the example from the first question. We're using the diagram from the first question. You can see here we have a price of 3,000 and here we have a quantity of 5,000. I'm just gonna write 5 and 3. So a price ceiling, I did say it's ceiling. You might think it's above. Can't you know the price ceiling is below the what? The market equilibrium price. So it's going to be here. And then they also say Muti is 2,000. So it's 2. Now it's what? It is effective. Because what this is saying is that this entity can charge any price for this product below 2 rand. So it can be 1 rand, 1 rand 50, but it cannot go above 2 rand. Already they are charging 3 rand, then they'll be forced to do what? To reduce their price. So if they do that, this is what is going to happen. So this is our demand curve and this is our supply curve. So what would happen is that the quantity demanded because the price has increased is going to increase as well from here to here. You can see this is my demand curve and this is the quantity which is demanded now. And the quantity supplied will decrease from here to here. So this would lead to a what? This will lead to excess demand because more is demanded, but less is being supplied. So you just have to calculate this excess. And to calculate this excess, you just have to substitute this 2,000 from, so you have to substitute this 2,000 from here, from quantity demanded from this equation. Substitute your 2,000, you would get, you'd get for your quantity demanded, you get your 10,000. And for your quantity supplied, you get your 2,000. Then to calculate the excess, you just say 10,000, which is your quantity that is demanded, minus your 2,000, which is your quantity which is supplied. Then you get 8,000, which will then be your excess demand, which is also a shortage in this case, because it basically means producers are producing less than what is actually required by our consumers. So it indicates a shortage of what? Of 8,000. Yeah, we'll do chapter 4 and 5 in the next video. Because I just wanna fix something like in terms of my whiteboard and all of that. I just watched another video. I will be explaining these